They say love is blind. But honestly, I think love just needs glasses and a good therapist. Hey folks, welcome back, welcome home. Welcome to this little corner of the internet where we talk about the stuff nobody else dares to say out loud. Today's topic, oh, buckle up my friends, because we're about to dig into something that probably stings a little. Why they aren't choosing you, and how to flip that script without losing your dignity. Now let's be real for a second. Maybe you're in a relationship right now and things feel off, like you're giving and giving and giving, but what do you get back? Crumbs, leftovers, like you're the side salad when you know damn well you're supposed to be the steak. Or maybe you're chasing after someone new and every time your phone buzzes, your heart jumps, only to find out it's a spam text telling you about your car warranty, and yet here you are, waiting, hoping, almost begging for their attention. Sound familiar? Don't lie, folks. We've all been there. I've been there. You've been there. We've all done the classic refresh their Instagram page like it's a stock market move. You know what I'm talking about. Checking their stories, decoding emojis like you're suddenly Sherlock Holmes with Wi-Fi. And the whole time you think you're playing it cool, but in reality, you look like a tourist lost in a foreign city with no map and no clue. And here's the raw truth, my friends. Desperation doesn't pull people in. It pushes them away faster than a kid running from vegetables. You think you're being sweet, available, loyal. They see someone who has put themselves on sale, 90% off, clearance rack energy. And nobody chooses the clearance rack when they can have the premium shelf. I know that hurts, but lean in with me, because this is where the magic of dark psychology and a little dose of stoicism changes the whole game. Let me throw you a quote that always cracks me up. Chasing someone is like chasing your shadow. The faster you run, the faster it runs too. Think about it. The harder you try to make them choose you, the more you accidentally prove that you're not choosing yourself. You're telling them with every little pick-me-please action that your worth depends on their yes. And my friends, nobody, I mean nobody, feels drawn to that energy. Let's switch it up with a metaphor. Picture a campfire. When the fire burns steady, people naturally gather around. They feel its warmth, they're drawn to it, they want to stay. But if you're out there frantically waving logs, blowing smoke, running around saying, "Please look, please sit here, I'll keep you warm, I promise, don't leave," everyone's going to run for the hills. Why? Because real attraction doesn't come from begging. It comes from being solid, steady, and powerful in yourself. Now, here's where it gets fun. You don't have to fight for attention. You don't have to beg. You don't have to do circus tricks just to be seen. You have to flip the script. You have to make them feel like they're the ones auditioning for a role in your life. Think of it like an interview. You're the CEO, my friend, and not everybody gets the job. And listen, this doesn't mean being arrogant. It means having standards. It means valuing yourself so much that people realize they have to bring their best to stand next to you. Let me ask you this. Would you hire someone who showed up late, unprepared, and acted like they didn't care? No. Then why in the world are you giving that kind of person unlimited access to your heart? That's the core of what we're talking about today. How to make them choose you over others without begging, without games, and without losing yourself. Now, I'm going to say something that might sound a little savage, but stay with me. The reason they don't choose you right now isn't because you're not enough. It's because you've made yourself too easy, too available, too predictable. You've become the Netflix password they don't pay for. Always there, never valued. And the human brain is wired in a funny way. It doesn't respect what it doesn't earn. So if you've been bending over backwards, dropping everything, living in please pick me mode, stop. That's not power, that's slavery. And deep down, you know it. Today, we're going to flip that whole script using Stoic wisdom and a dash of dark psychology. We're going to turn you into the campfire people gather around, the magnet people can't resist, the option that isn't just another option, but the only obvious choice. As Marcus Aurelius once said, The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. And if your thoughts are stuck on, "I'll only be enough if they pick me," you've already lost the game. But if your thoughts shift to, "I am enough whether they pick me or not," guess what? Suddenly, you're the prize. Before we dive into the techniques, let's make this fun. Right here, right now, I want you to say this out loud with me. I am not chasing anyone. They can chase me. Write it down. Heck, tattoo it on your brain, because that's the energy shift we're aiming for. And if you're sitting there thinking, "But wait, if I stop chasing, won't they just forget me?" No, my friend. That's the fear talking. People remember what they can't easily have. People crave what isn't desperate for their attention. That's human psychology 101. So here's my challenge to you before we get into the 7 techniques. Stop giving away your power. Stop checking the phone every 5 minutes. Stop acting like their approval is oxygen. Take a deep breath. Realize you were breathing just fine before they walked into your life, and you'll still be breathing if they walk out. From this moment forward, you are no longer the background noise. You're the headline act. You're the concert people line up for, and if someone doesn't see that, that's their loss, not yours. So folks, grab a coffee, get comfortable, maybe even laugh at yourself for the silly games you've played in the past, because we've all been there. But now, we're about to level up. We're going to dive into 7 powerful, practical, psychology-backed steps that will make them not just notice you, but choose you over everyone else. Ready? Let's light this fire. Number 1. Embrace Stoic detachment. Let me break your heart gently. The reason they're treating you like you don't matter is because you've been acting like you don't matter. Ouch. I know that stings. But my friends, if we don't rip the bandage off now, you'll keep wondering why they ignore your texts, why they take forever to call back, why you're always the one waiting. And the ugly truth is, you trained them to treat you this way. Every time you jumped at their crumbs of attention, every time you bent over backwards hoping to be noticed, you told them loud and clear, "My time, my energy, my self-worth, it's all yours. Do with it what you want." And here's the kicker. People rarely value what they don't have to work for. You gave yourself away too easily. You became the vending machine version of love and attention. Press a button, and there you are. And vending machines don't inspire passion. They don't create curiosity. They don't make anyone chase. They just stand there waiting to be used. Harsh? Yes. But freeing? Absolutely. Because once you see this truth, you can start flipping the script. And the first flip is what I call Stoic detachment. Now, don't get scared by the word detachment. It doesn't mean you turn into a robot with no emotions walking around like a stone statue. No, no, no. It means you stop acting like your entire worth depends on their reaction. You stop bleeding out your energy just to prove you're worth choosing. Detachment is self-respect dressed up as mystery. Here's a question for you. Have you ever noticed how the more you chase, the faster people seem to run? It's like trying to hug a cat. The tighter you squeeze, the quicker it claws its way out. People are wired the same. When you smother them with desperation, they pull away. When you lean back, they lean forward. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, said it perfectly. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Right now, your want for their approval is what makes you look poor in their eyes. The moment you drop that hunger, you look powerful, rich, attractive. But I get it. Detachment feels scary. Fear whispers in your ear. If I don't text them, they'll forget me. If I don't show them love, they'll go find it elsewhere. But let's test that thought. Do people really forget the ones who stand tall, busy, and confident? No. They forget the ones who make themselves background noise. And right now, that's been you. Let me give you a metaphor. Picture a dog chasing its tail. Round and round it goes, spinning in circles, panting, looking ridiculous. That's you right now, chasing their attention. But if the dog stops, suddenly the tail is right there. Suddenly the game flips. Same with people. When you stop running after them, suddenly they're the ones wondering, wait, why aren't they chasing me anymore? Did I lose my grip on them? What are they doing now? That curiosity, my friends, is gold, and you'll never get it by smothering them. You only get it when you detach. Now, let me prepare you. Detachment feels like withdrawal at first. You'll itch to check your phone. You'll feel the urge to send that just checking in text. Your brain will try to trick you. One little heart emoji won't hurt. But every time you give in, you feed the same cycle of desperation. And desperation kills attraction faster than garlic kills vampires. So what do you do instead? You redirect. You pour that restless energy back into yourself. Go live, go build, go laugh with friends, chase your goals, take care of your body, your money, your passions. When they see that your world doesn't orbit around them, they'll suddenly look up and see you differently. You'll go from option to mystery, from background noise to headline act. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's the heart of Stoic detachment. You can't control how they act, but you can absolutely control whether you act like a prize or a doormat. And here's the beautiful paradox. The moment you stop needing them to choose you, that's when they start wanting to. Because nothing, and I mean nothing, is more magnetic than someone who walks in their own power, someone who doesn't beg for attention but commands it just by existing. So let's anchor this with a declaration. Say it with me. I release the need for validation. Again, louder. I release the need for validation. Feel it. Because this isn't just about them anymore. This is about you reclaiming your dignity. Now, here's your challenge. Drop that affirmation in the comments. I release the need for validation. Write it, show it, claim it. Show yourself. Show the world. Show them, without even speaking, that you're not that desperate person anymore. And listen, this is only step one. If detachment alone can flip the chase, just imagine what happens when we add step 2. You think they're curious now? Wait until you see the next principle. That's when curiosity turns into obsession. Number 2, raise your standards and stick to them. Here is another one, folks. The reason they treat you like an option is because you've been acting like one. Let that sink in for a second. You wonder why they keep overlooking you, why they ghost, why they flake, why they don't fight for you. It's not because you're not good enough. It's because you set the bar so low that they don't even have to try. You've been handing out discounts on your love like it's a clearance sale. And people don't fight for clearance items. They grab them, use them, toss them, and move on. I need to tell you this with no sugarcoating. You've been tolerating scraps and calling it love. That's why they treat you like a backup plan instead of a priority. And if you keep playing this role, you'll never get chosen. Not because you're unworthy, but because you're training them to believe your worth is cheap. The truth is, people treat you the way you allow them to. And when you let them cancel plans without consequence, when you let them ignore your calls and then act grateful for the crumbs of attention they finally throw your way, you're telling them, this is fine, this is enough, you can keep doing this. And if that's the standard you set, don't be surprised when they don't bother giving more. Here's what you've got to understand. Raising your standards isn't about demanding luxury gifts, constant compliments, or perfection. It's about saying, I value myself enough not to tolerate disrespect. I value myself enough not to be second choice. And when you make that shift, you don't have to scream it from the rooftops. People will feel it in how you carry yourself. Think about it this way. Have you ever walked into a luxury store, the kind that sells diamonds or designer clothes? Do you see them begging for customers? Do you see 70% off signs plastered everywhere? No, they don't chase. They don't lower their value. They know their worth, and if you can't afford it, you walk out. That's the energy you need to start giving off. Right now, though, you've been acting like a discount store, throwing sales, chasing down customers, proving your value to people who were never serious buyers. And that's why they don't choose you. Why should they, if you don't even require them to rise to your level? Here's the kicker. The moment you raise your standards, the game changes. People will either step up or fall away. And yes, some will fall away. And yes, that will hurt at first. But let me ask you this. Is losing someone who only gave you the bare minimum really a loss? Or is it just clearing space for someone better? This is especially crucial if you're chasing someone who's distant. Why are they distant? Because they know they don't have to give you more. You've made yourself too available. You've been showing them that no matter how little effort they give, you'll stay. And as long as that's true, they'll never close the gap. But the second you raise your standards, the second you decide you're done with disrespect, done with being ignored, done with being the sometimes person, they're forced into a decision. Step up or step out. And let me tell you, the ones who truly value you will rise to the occasion. The ones who don't, they'll disappear. And that's not a loss. That's a blessing. But let's keep it real. Raising your standards won't feel easy. You'll feel guilty at first. You'll feel like you're pushing people away. You'll second-guess yourself. Am I being too harsh? Am I asking for too much? And that's fear talking. That's the old you, the version that thought love meant tolerating crumbs. Here's the truth. You're not asking for too much. You're just asking the wrong people. The right people won't be scared by your standards. They'll be inspired by them. And let me give you another metaphor. Imagine walking into an exclusive club. Velvet ropes, a strict guest list, high security. Does everyone get in? No. Only those who meet the requirements. That's what your life should feel like. If anyone can waltz in and out, your energy gets trampled. But when you set the bar high, when you decide only those who respect you can have access, suddenly your presence feels rare, valuable, worth protecting. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Apply that to your relationships. If their effort is not right, don't accept it. If their words aren't backed by truth, don't believe them. Don't lower your standards just to make someone comfortable staying in your life. If they can't rise, let them go. Now let me be brutally honest one last time. You're not going to lose anything by raising your standards. You're going to gain everything. You'll gain peace. You'll gain respect. You'll gain people who actually want to be in your life, not just because it's convenient for them, but because they see your worth and they're willing to match your energy. But it all starts with you, with your decision, with that one choice. I will no longer accept less than I deserve. So let's seal this with an affirmation. Close your eyes, take a breath, and say it. I deserve the best. Again, louder this time. I deserve the best. Don't just say it, feel it in your bones. Because the moment you believe it, the world around you starts to adjust. Now, I want you to write it in the comments right now. I deserve the best. Show yourself. Show the world. Show them that you're done settling, that you've raised the bar, and if they want a place in your life, they'll have to earn it. Because here's the secret. Once you raise your standards and stick to them, they'll either rise up to meet you, or they'll fall away and clear the path for someone better. And either way, you win. And if you think this step is powerful, just wait until you hear what comes next. Detachment made them curious. Raising your standards makes them respect you. But the next move? That's when they start obsessing. Number 3. Build genuine emotional connections. The reason they don't feel hooked on you isn't because you're not attractive enough. It's because they don't feel you. Let's be real for a second. Maybe you're in a relationship, but it feels like the spark is dying. Maybe you're trying to get into a relationship, but they're not choosing you. Or maybe they already left you, and now you're here, trying to figure out what went wrong. And I'm about to tell you something that might sting. The problem isn't always looks, money, or status. The problem is that you never built a real emotional connection. See, attraction will get their attention, but connection, that's what keeps it. And if you're wondering why they treat you like an option, why they're hot and cold, why they can walk away without looking back, it's because they never felt something deep with you. You stayed on the surface, and surface-level attraction fades faster than you think. Let me ask you, are you truly connecting with people, or are you just playing this exhausting game of trying to get them to like you? Because there's a huge difference. You can dress up, say the right lines, impress them for a while, but if you're not real, if you're not letting them feel something with you, they'll forget you the moment someone new comes along. That's the brutal truth. People are drowning in fake smiles, fake compliments, fake perfect versions of themselves. That's why everyone looks the same to them. That's why nothing sticks. But the second you drop the act, the second you stop trying to be what you think they want and instead show up as yourself, you stand out. You become unforgettable because you're rare. And listen, I don't mean trauma dumping your whole life story in the first 5 minutes. That's not connection, that's desperation. What I mean is listening, actually listening, showing up with presence, sharing your truth at the right time, making them feel seen and understood in a way most people never bother to do. Think about it. When was the last time someone truly listened to you? No distractions, no fake nodding, no waiting for their turn to speak, just pure presence. You remember it, right? Because it's rare, and that's exactly why it's powerful. If you want them to choose you, you have to make them feel that same thing, that being with you isn't just about attraction, it's about depth. Here's the thing. When they pull away, it's often because the connection feels shallow. Maybe you were too focused on keeping their interest instead of deepening the relationship. Maybe you were so busy trying to win them over that you stopped being real. And let me be honest, they can feel that. People always sense when you're putting on a show, and no one wants to commit to a show. This is where Stoic wisdom fits perfectly. Marcus Aurelius said, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." What does that mean here? It means stop pretending, stop twisting yourself into who you think they'll like. Be strict with yourself about being authentic. Tolerate the fact that not everyone will get it, not everyone will like the real you. But the ones who do, they'll choose you, and they'll never forget you. Let me give you a picture. Imagine 2 trees in a forest. One tree is tall with shiny green leaves, looks amazing at first glance. The other is smaller, not as flashy, but the tall tree, its roots are shallow. One storm could knock it right down. The smaller tree, its roots run deep, it's solid, it's steady. Which one would you rely on during a storm? Exactly. That's the difference between shallow attraction and emotional connection. You want to be the tree with deep roots. So how do you actually build this connection? Let's break it down. First, listen with intent. Not just to reply, not just to impress, but to actually understand. When they talk, are you really present? Do you hear the little things? The way their voice changes when they talk about what matters? The way their eyes light up when they share a dream? Most people miss those cues. You won't. And when they feel that you're tuned in, they'll start associating you with comfort, with safety, with being understood. Second, vulnerability. I know that word scares people. We think vulnerability makes us weak. But here's the truth, it makes you human. When you share your fears, your struggles, your dreams, in the right moment, you open the door for them to do the same. That's where real connection happens. Not in the highlight reel, not in the perfect moments, but in the raw ones. Third, emotional attunement. This is about paying attention to feelings that aren't spoken. Did they have a hard day? Do they seem quieter than usual? Do they light up when they talk about certain things? Responding to those subtle shifts shows them you're not just in this for yourself, you're truly invested. And trust me, when someone feels that, they don't forget it. Fourth, consistency. You don't build a bond in one deep conversation. You build it over time, through repeated moments where you show up, where you're real, where you make them feel valued. That's the difference between someone who fades into the background and someone who becomes irreplaceable. Because here's the truth. Anyone can look good for a night. Anyone can impress for a week. But not everyone can create a feeling of safety, depth, and understanding. And that's exactly why emotional connection is what makes them choose you over everyone else. So let's wrap this with something powerful. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and say this out loud. I attract connections that are real and lasting. Again, I attract connections that are real and lasting. Let that settle in your bones. Because when you start showing up with authenticity, with presence, with depth, you stop chasing people. The shallow ones will fade away and the real ones will lean closer. Now write it down in the comments. I attract connections that are real and lasting. Claim it, own it, because the truth is, attraction gets attention, but emotional connection keeps it. And when you master this, they won't just want you, they'll need you. Number 4, maintain your independence and self-respect. The fastest way to lose someone is to lose yourself first. Let's get straight to the point. You can have chemistry, attraction, even a deep emotional bond with someone, but if you give up your independence, if you throw away your self-respect, it all crumbles. And deep down, you know it. You've felt it before. The more you clung, the more they slipped away. The more you revolved your whole life around them, the less interested they became. Painful, right? But that pain carries the truth. People don't chase desperation. They chase strength. Here's the harsh reality. Nobody values what feels like it can't stand on its own. Think about it. Do you admire someone who has no life outside of you? Or are you drawn to the one who's got their own world, their own energy, their own passions? That's what pulls people in. That's what makes them choose you. Not neediness, not begging, but independence. Picture this. You're holding water in your hands. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips through your fingers. But if you hold it gently, it stays. That's exactly how relationships work. When you grip too hard, when you abandon your life just to orbit around theirs, you push them away. But when you stand tall in your own space, living your life fully, chasing your own goals, they lean in. Because you're not just someone who needs them, you're someone they want to be around. Now, let's bring in some wisdom. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Think about that. If your mood rises and falls based on whether they text you back, if your happiness depends on their attention, you're not free. You're a prisoner. You've made them the master of your peace. And the truth is, that will never make them respect you. But when you stand firm in your independence, when you show them that you're whole with or without them, that's when they can't help but respect you. Let me give you an example you've probably lived through. Have you noticed how they suddenly call more, text more, show more interest when you stop being so available? The second you stop dropping everything to run to them, they start chasing. Why? Because your independence signals value. It shows them you're not desperate. It shows them you have options, and nothing is more attractive than someone who knows their worth. Here's the truth that most people don't want to hear. If you make someone your whole world, you stop being a world worth exploring. You become predictable. You become small. And people don't choose what feels small. They choose what feels expansive. So expand your life. Fill it with your passions, your friendships, your goals. Make your presence in their life a choice, not a lifeline. Yes, it's scary. Because independence feels like distance. It feels like you might lose them if you don't cling. But here's the paradox. You only keep them by letting go. You only become magnetic when you stop begging for gravity. So I want you to pause and say this out loud. My independence is my power. Again, louder. My independence is my power. Feel that truth. Because once you live by it, you'll never have to beg for love, for attention, or for respect again. They'll give it freely. They'll chase you, not because you can't live without them, but because you've proven you're unstoppable either way. Now, type it in the comments. My independence is my power. Show it to yourself. Show it to the world. Because the moment you own that truth, you stop being an option and you become the one they can't replace. Number 5. Demonstrate patience and self-control. Impatience is the silent killer of attraction. This is where most people mess it all up. They can create attraction, they can build a deep connection, they can even hold their independence, but then they destroy it all by being impulsive, by chasing when they should have waited, by demanding answers when silence would have been louder, by blowing up when calm would have been more powerful. Sound familiar? Human nature is wired for instant gratification. We want the call back now. We want the text reply now. We want the relationship to move forward now. But here's the brutal truth. Your craving for speed is exactly what slows everything down. The universe has this funny way of testing you. The more you try to force what's meant to unfold naturally, the more it slips away from you. Now let me ask you, who has more power? The person who can't wait 2 hours for a reply and panics? Or the one who can sit calmly, knowing their worth doesn't shrink with someone else's silence? The answer is obvious. Patience is power. Patience communicates confidence. When you're patient, you send a silent message. I don't need to force what's mine. I trust myself. I trust my value. I trust the timing. And trust me, people notice. They wonder why you're not chasing like everyone else. They wonder why you're not desperate. That mystery makes them chase you. But patience is only half the equation. The other half, the one that truly separates you, is self-control. This is the hidden weapon most never master. Self-control means you feel the impulse to call them 10 times in a row, but you don't. You feel the fire to send a long emotional text, but you breathe instead. You feel the anger boiling when they disappoint you, but you choose silence over explosion. And here's the secret. Silence often screams louder than words ever could. Think about it. When someone rants and raves, their emotions control them. But when you stay composed, when you keep calm in the storm, you flip the power dynamic instantly. People respect those who master themselves, and respect is the root of attraction. Here's the paradox. The less you demand, the more they give. The less you try to control, the more influence you gain. Why? Because you become rare. You become the one who doesn't fold under pressure, the one who doesn't let emotions own them. And that kind of control makes you unforgettable. They stop seeing you as just another person. They start seeing you as someone they have to respect, someone they don't want to lose. Let me paint you a picture. Patience and self-control are like pulling back a bow and arrow. If you release too quickly, the arrow wobbles and misses the target. But if you wait, if you steady your hand, if you breathe, the arrow flies with precision straight to the mark. That's exactly how you win in attraction. That's how you win in love. That's how you win in life. So here's your affirmation for this step. I master my emotions. I let time work in my favor. Say it with me, again louder. I master my emotions. I let time work in my favor. Because once you truly live by that, you're no longer the one chasing. You become the one haunting their thoughts, the one they can't forget, the one they start chasing. Now write it in the comments. I master my emotions. I let time work in my favor. Let the world see it. Show yourself, show them, and show the universe that you're no longer moved by impatience. You're moved by strength. And that strength, my friend, is what makes them choose you. Number 6, showcase loyalty and reliability. In a world full of temporary people, loyalty is rare currency. Think about it. Everyone wants attention, but not everyone offers consistency. Anyone can show up once when it's exciting, but who keeps showing up when it's not? That's the difference between someone who fades and someone who becomes unforgettable. Loyalty paired with independence is a powerful mix. It says, I don't need you, but if I choose you, I'm with you. That's not desperation, that's strength. It tells them you're not clinging, but you're solid. You're not begging for their attention, but if you commit, your word actually means something. And trust me, that's rare. Now let's talk about reliability. This is where trust is built. Attraction might spark their interest, but reliability keeps their respect. If you say you'll be there, be there. If you promise something, follow through. Not perfectly, but steadily. Because when your actions match your words again and again, people see you as different from the rest. They realize you're not just another thrill, you're the safe place they can lean on when life gets hard. And here's the truth. People always return to where they feel safe. The parties end, the excitement fades, the games get boring, but reliability, that never loses its power. You become the one they can't replace because your presence carries weight. So let this be your affirmation. I am steady. I am loyal. I am irreplaceable. Write it, speak it, live it. Because when you embody loyalty and reliability, you don't have to beg to be chosen. They see it, they feel it, and they realize they won't find it anywhere else. Number 7, radiate confidence without arrogance. Confidence is magnetic, but arrogance repels. Let's be real for a second. You already know people love confidence. It's the energy that draws everyone in without you even trying. But here's where most people mess up. They mistake arrogance for confidence. And let me tell you, arrogance is just insecurity wearing a costume. It's loud, it's needy, it's desperate for validation. True confidence, it's quiet. It doesn't have to scream. It doesn't have to prove. It just is. Think of it like this. Confidence is walking into a room knowing you belong there, without needing everyone to clap for you. Arrogance is barging in and demanding attention because deep down you're terrified of being ignored. See the difference? One is grounded in self-worth, the other is fragile, built on quicksand, always seeking external approval just to stay standing. Now here's the question you need to ask yourself. When you're around them, the person you want to notice you, are you radiating quiet confidence, or are you slipping into arrogance? Because if you're over-explaining yourself, if you're bragging just to be seen, if you're secretly panicking when they don't validate you, you're not being confident, you're trying to force it, and forced confidence always cracks. True confidence has nothing to prove. You don't need to tell them who you are. Your energy, your composure, your self-respect, it does the talking for you. That's why people who radiate confidence are unforgettable. They're not begging to be chosen. They're showing, simply by how they carry themselves, that they already are the choice. But here's the fine line you have to walk. Don't mistake confidence with putting others down. Confidence doesn't need comparison. It doesn't need to step on someone else just to feel taller. Confidence is saying, I know who I am, I know what I bring, and whether you see it or not, I'm still valuable. That energy is magnetic. That's the energy that makes people lean in closer, wondering, what is it about them? Let me give you an image. Imagine two flames. One is a steady candle. It burns quietly, steadily, beautifully. The other is a wild sparkler, loud, chaotic, throwing sparks everywhere just to be noticed. Which one do people actually trust to light their path? The candle. Because steadiness speaks louder than chaos. That's what real confidence feels like. And in relationships, this matters even more. Arrogance pushes people away because it drains the space. It's like being around someone who constantly talks but never listens. You just want to escape. Confidence, on the other hand, creates space. It makes people feel safe, drawn in, respected. That's why confidence is irresistible, not because it's flashy, but because it's rooted. So how do you radiate this kind of confidence? Start by owning your value without needing anyone else to confirm it. Don't over-explain. Don't chase. Don't panic if they don't immediately validate you. Stand in your truth. Let your silence, your actions, your self-control speak for you. And when you do speak, speak with clarity, not desperation. That balance makes you unforgettable. Remember, confidence is a crown. You don't need to throw it in someone's face. You just wear it, quietly, gracefully. And trust me, people notice. They always notice. So here's your affirmation. My confidence is my crown, and I wear it with grace. Write it, speak it, drop it in the comments to show yourself, to show the universe, and to show anyone watching that you no longer need to scream your worth. You embody it, and that's what makes you magnetic. Number 8, balance mystery and openness. Humans don't chase what's obvious. They chase what they can't quite figure out. That's the truth most people miss when they throw themselves at someone, dumping their whole story on the table right away. They think openness will win love, but in reality, it kills curiosity. On the other hand, if you wall yourself off completely, you become untouchable. And no one wants to keep chasing a locked door. The real secret, balancing the two. Giving enough to connect, but holding enough back to intrigue. Think about it. Humans are wired for curiosity. We're drawn to puzzles, to secrets, to the unknown. That's why a book hooks you. You don't get the ending on page 1. It unfolds, chapter by chapter, making you lean in closer with every turn. The same principle applies to attraction. If you give away the whole plot right at the start, there's no reason for them to keep reading. But if you drip-feed your story, layer by layer, they'll stay engaged. They'll keep wanting more. Now here's the twist. Mystery isn't about playing games or pretending to be something you're not. It's about pacing. It's about allowing them the pleasure of discovery. Instead of oversharing on the first date, you let them ask. Instead of telling them every detail of your day, you leave space for curiosity. That space is powerful. It creates pull. But don't swing too far the other way. Too much mystery, and they'll assume you're cold, unavailable, or hiding something. That's where openness comes in. Openness is what builds intimacy. It's what makes them feel safe with you, connected to you, invested in you. When they've earned your trust, when you've felt their consistency, you let them deeper into your world. That's what makes the connection real, instead of just a guessing game. Here's an image. Imagine a flame. If you throw all the fuel on at once, the fire burns too hot and dies out quickly. But if you feed it slowly, steadily, it grows stronger and lasts longer. That's how you balance mystery and openness. You fuel the attraction in doses. Enough to spark curiosity, enough to build warmth, and over time, it becomes something lasting. Let me be blunt. If you overshare too quickly, they don't just lose interest, they stop valuing the information. Because what comes too easily is rarely appreciated. But when someone has to earn your openness, when you give them access step by step, they treasure it. They feel chosen, and that right there is magnetic. At the same time, Withholding everything backfires. If you never show vulnerability, never share your thoughts, never let them in, they'll get frustrated. They'll feel like they're investing in someone who won't invest back. Attraction might start with mystery, but it deepens with intimacy, and intimacy can't exist without openness. So here's how you master this. Share your truth in layers. Show them enough to connect, but not everything at once. Let your story unfold like chapters in a novel, each one drawing them closer. And when you do open up, make sure it's real. Don't perform, don't over-polish, speak with honesty. That combination, mystery that excites, openness that reassures, keeps them hooked. And here's the bottom line. If you want them to choose you over anyone else, it's not about tricks or begging for attention. It's about becoming magnetic, confident, mysterious, independent, yet deeply genuine. When you master these traits, you stop chasing, and they start chasing you. Remember, the real power is in your self-control, your patience, and your ability to connect on a level most people can't reach. If this message hit home, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Your transformation starts now.